Hey guys, welcome back. Today is another yoga flow. Um, just go ahead and acknowledge that I am a week or two late. I did have COVID and that put me behind. But hopefully I'll be able to knock out 2 videos this week. If not, just check back in next week and we'll have another food video. But today we're going to be focusing on core. It's going to take about 20 minutes. And you don't need any props for this one. You just need a nice comfortable mat, nice quiet space, and we're going to take it kind of slow. So let's get started. We're going to start seated, nice and comfortable in the center of your mat, not holding yourself too rigid, but just starting to draw some length up your spine, noticing how your body feels, paying attention to any areas that feel tight or sore. Notice your shoulders and your neck. Travel down your spine, down into your hips. And then start to notice your breath. As you inhale, find some more length all the way up your spine. As you exhale, feel the weight of your body pressing into your mat, rooting you here and now, bringing you into your class physically and mentally. Take a few breaths and set your intention for the day. Let go of any to-do lists. Let go of any responsibilities once you get up from your mat. It can be anything from taking time for yourself, focusing on strengthening your body, or whatever your goal might be. Just bring that to the forefront of your mind. Let that be your focus. You start to deepen your breath. Every breath in, start from the base of your stomach. Breathe all the way up to your diaphragm, into your chest. Big breath all the way back out. Settle back. I'm going to introduce some movement now. As you inhale, reach both arms up overhead. And as you exhale, lean over to the right side, pressing into your palm, reaching with your left fingers. Keep that left hip down on your mat. And breathe into the spaces between your ribs on the left side. On another inhale, bring it back up through the center. Exhale, tip over to your left side. Pressing into that palm, keeping your right hip down, reaching up high with those right fingers. Deep breaths up that right side. Inhale, bring it back up. As you exhale, twist to the right. Bring your right hand behind you and your left hand to your knee. Gently gaze over the right shoulder. As you inhale, find some more length up your spine. And as you exhale, gently soften your stomach muscles. Turn a little bit deeper. Not forcing it. Just starting to bring out that spine. Inhale, bring it back to the front. Exhale, twist to the other side. Next, inhale, unwind, bring it back up. Exhale, bring your hands back down. I'm going to turn to face the front of my mat. And we're going to come into our tabletop positions or hands and knees. Making sure your hands are right under your shoulders and your knees are right under your hips. Spread out your fingers, press into your fingertips, keeping some of that pressure off of your wrists. Find an inhale, drop your belly button and lift your gaze for your cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, press the floor away, gaze at your belly button for cat. Your inhale brings you back up. Your exhale brings you back down. Keep moving at the pace of your own breath. Taking the time to warm up your spine, maybe throw in some hip wags if your lower back feels tight, some neck rolls if your neck and shoulders need it. Just play around with it, remembering to practice listening to your body, acknowledging what it might need, areas that it needs you to focus a little bit harder on. And then pausing here in a neutral tabletop. We're going to press our weight into our left hand. Stretch that right leg out behind you. Pressing harder into our right hand, stretching our right leg behind you. You can keep it there or reach that left arm out in front of you. Core is tight. Pull that belly button in. Spread your fingers away from each other. Pull your fingertips away from your toe tips. One more big breath in. Exhale, bring it back down. Throw in a couple of hip wags. We're going to reset. This time, press into your left hand. Stretch that left leg back out behind you. And then option to reach that right arm out in front of you. Pushing into that left hand, keeping your lower back flat and level. Pulling your fingers away from your toes. One more breath in. Exhale back down. Wag your hips a couple more times. Then slide your hands forward. Tuck your toes and lift your hips, finding that downward dog. Once you get there, start to pedal your feet, bending one knee and the other one. Introducing some movement to the back of your legs. Starting to draw that belly button in towards your spine. Continuing to spread out your fingertips and grip the mat. Pause in the center, find some stillness. On an inhale, lift up to your tippy toes. Exhale, bring your heels back down. Inhale, bring them back up. Exhale, twist those heels to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, twist your heels to the left. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bring your heels down into the center. Find another inhale, bend your knees, lift your gaze. Exhale, tiptoe up to the top of your mat. Finding your ragdoll pose. Letting your head, neck, and shoulder feel heavy. Starting to lengthen your spine. As you inhale, think about stretching all the way from your hips, up your back, into your shoulders. And think about trying to touch the floor with the top of your head. Maybe here you grab opposite elbows and you gently sway side to side. Just bringing a little bit more movement into your lower back. Pause here in the center and release your arms if you haven't already. Inhale, lift up halfway, bringing your palms to your shins, nice long spine. Exhale, back down. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, back down. With your next inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow, pressing your heels into the floor. And once you get to the top, roll your shoulders back and down, away from your ears, pulling your fingertips down towards the floor, finding your first mountain pose, pushing the floor away, standing as tall as you can. Find another inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, bend at the hips, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into a high plank. Big breath in at the top. Exhale, lower to your knees, then down to your stomach. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale, press back into your downward dog. Next, inhale, bend your knees and look up. Exhale, walk up to the top of your mat. Feet come back to hip distance apart. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up high. Exhale, bring your hands back down by your sides. Back to that mountain pose. Next, inhale, reach back up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into your high plank. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lower all the way down to your stomach. Inhale, lift your chest for your cobra. Exhale, press back into your downward dog. Pause there. Check in with your breath, nice and steady. On another inhale, pull yourself back to that plank position. And then we're going to slowly rotate to the side, coming into a side plank, lifting that top arm. If this is too challenging, you can drop that bottom knee, give yourself a little bit of extra support. Pressing firmly into the floor, reaching as high as you can with those fingertips. One more breath in. Exhale, bring it down. Back to your downward dog. Pedal out those legs. Take a couple cleansing breaths. From there, pull yourself back to your plank, and we're going to rotate to the opposite side from where you started. Again, if you need a modification, drop that bottom knee. Press into the floor, reach up high with your fingertips. Steady breaths here, not holding our breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale, drop that hand back down, back into your downward dog. With your next inhale, bend your knees and look up. Exhale, walk up to the top of your mat. And this time we're going to bring our feet together. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Exhale, this time bring your hands to heart center. Big breath in. Big sigh. With your next inhale, sink your hips. Lift your arms, finding your first chair pose. So we're finding neutral spine. This is where we're not sticking our butts out. We're not rounding either. It's somewhere in between, trying to find a flat back. Hips are sunk as low as your back will let you. If it's too difficult, if you have shoulder sensitivity or tension, and this is uncomfortable to lift your arms overhead, feel free to just stretch them out in front of you. Keeping that core tight. Take one more breath in. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into that plank. Big breath in. Exhale to lower down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale for downward dog. Big breath in and out. With your next inhale, lift your left heel up behind you. And as you exhale, step that foot up between your hands. Now take your time, don't get in a hurry. If you have to use your hands to maneuver it and get comfortable, that's totally okay. Once you're ready, spin that back heel down. Inhale and reach both arms up high, finding your first warrior one. Making sure that both of our shoulders are pointed forward. If that's a little uncomfortable, just bring this back foot out a little bit more. That'll make it easier to bring that right hip forward, pressing into that front heel, reaching up high towards the ceiling. Take two more breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, plant both palms. Step that left foot back into your plank. Take a big breath in. Exhale all the way down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale for downward dog. 2 breaths here. Keep it nice and steady. Next, inhale, lift your right heel up behind you. Exhale, bring that foot up between your hands. Again, take your time, don't get in a rush. When you're ready, spin that back heel down. Inhale, reach both arms up high, pulling that back hip forward slightly, turning both of your shoulders towards the front of your mat. Core is tight, your neck is long as you reach up high. Think about your breath. Last deep breath in here. Exhale, plant both palms, step back into your plank. Big breath in. Exhale all the way down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale for downward dog. With your next inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Bring your feet back together. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Next inhale, sink your hips. This time, bring your hands to heart center. So we're back into our chair pose. Remember that neutral spine. And this time our hands are together, thumbs against our sternum. From here, take a big breath in, fill up your chest. Exhale, twist to the right side, bringing that elbow outside of your knee. Take a look and make sure those kneecaps stay right beside each other. And then think about keeping your head higher than your heart and your heart higher than your hips for 2 more breaths. Next inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist to the other side. Elbow against the side of that knee. Check in with those kneecaps. Keep them right beside each other. And then sink those hips a little lower. Next inhale, unwind. Exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands back down by your sides. Back to that mountain pose. Pausing here to check in with your breath. Maybe get some water if you need to. Refocus. Once you're ready and you've returned to your mountain pose, from here, inhale, reach back up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your palms and step back into your high plank. Big breath in. Exhale, drop all the way down to your stomach. Inhale for cobra. Exhale for downward dog. Next, inhale, lift your right heel behind you. Exhale, crunch knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bring your right knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, back up. Exhale, step that right foot up between your hands. Take your time there. When you're ready, spin your left heel down. This time we're going to inhale and we're going to windmill our arms open to a warrior 2. In our warrior 2, we're trying to stack our shoulders over our hips. If you look down at that front foot, you should be able to see that big toe. And we're keeping this knee directly over that ankle best you can. Your core is tight, almost like you're tucking your tailbone. And then your arms are actively engaged in opposite directions, gazing over that front middle finger. Tracking your breath. I'm going to take one more breath in. Exhale, flip that right hand, lean forward. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Little to no weight in this back hand. As you reach up high with your right one, try to keep that right knee over your right ankle. We'll take one more breath in. Exhale, pull it through the center. You can bring your elbow to your knee or reach that right arm out in front of you. Bring your left one out to follow. Just a little added core challenge. If it's too much, just bring that elbow back to your knee. 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale, bring it back up to the center and pause. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your palms down to your mat. Step that right foot back. Big breath in. Exhale all the way down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale for downward dog. Hold it there for about 3 breaths. Moving on with your next inhale, lift your left heel behind you. Exhale, step that foot up between your hands. Tried to say all my words at once. When you're ready, spin that back heel down. Find an inhale, windmill your arms open. Back to that warrior two. Now you can see it from the opposite side. We're stacking shoulders over hips. I can see my left big toe, my knees over my ankle. My core is tight, slightly tucking my tailbone. Arms are actively pulling in opposite directions. Almost imagining that I'm pressing down on something. Take one more breath in. Exhale, flip that front hand, lean forward. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Again, little to no weight in this back hand. Reaching high with that left one, trying to keep your knee over your front ankle. One more breath in. Exhale, pull it through the center towards the front. Bring that right arm to reach out in front of you. Again, if this is too much, bring that elbow down to your knee instead. One more deep breath in. Exhale, bring it back to the center and pause. Inhale. Exhale, windmill your palms back to the floor. Step that left foot back. Big breath in. Exhale all the way down. And we're going to stay there, flattening to the tops of our feet. Keeping our hands planted under our shoulders. Find an inhale. And as you exhale, lift your chest, finding a cobra pose that we're going to hold for a few breaths. Try to avoid letting your ears sink down towards your shoulders. Keep that neck nice and long. Softly pressing your hips down towards the floor. Breathing up your stomach and down your back. We're going to take one more breath in. And as we exhale, press back into a child's pose. Bringing our foreheads down to the mat. A little counter stretch to our back bend. Start to deepen your breath again. Slow down your heart rate. From here, we're going to slowly come up to our knees, making sure that they're directly under our hips. And then we're going to bring our hands to our back pockets, or where they would be if you had jeans on. From here, inhale, lift your chest, and we're slowly going to press your hips forward. Bring it back. You can reach back for your heels. Maybe you grab one at a time and reach the opposite hand up. Maybe you tuck your toes and you grab both heels, lifting your chest, dropping your head back. Squeeze those glutes, protect your lower back. One more breath here. And as you exhale, bring your hands back to your back pockets. Slowly roll it back up. Then press your hips back towards your heels. Bring yourself back into that child's pose for a few more breaths. Counter stretch to that back bend. With your next inhale, pull yourself up to your hands and knees, and then shift around into a seated position with your legs straight out in front of you. Wiggle your hips around so you can feel your sit bones on the floor. From here, inhale, reach up high. Exhale, fold it forward over those legs, keeping your spine nice and long. And grab where you can, whether it's the back of your knees or the bottom of your heels. Not forcing it, just slowly starting to settle in, one breath at a time. With your next inhale, come back up nice and slow. I'm going to turn to face you so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to bring one leg out at an angle, then bring the opposite leg in against that thigh. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, fold over that leg, keeping your chest open towards me. You can bring that hand behind your ear. You can drop it to your lap. You can wrap it behind you. Maybe you reach over towards that foot, just as long as you're not collapsing into your chest. Big breaths at the back of this hip. With your next inhale, bring both arms back up. Plant that right hand. Reach up with your left one, lifting your hips as you go. Exhale, bring it back down, and we'll switch sides. This other leg is out at an angle. This foot is planted against that thigh. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold over that leg. Bring that other hand wherever it feels comfortable. Just don't collapse into your chest. Put it nice and open, breathing up the back of this opposite hip. Next, inhale, bring both arms back up. Point this left hand, reach up with your right, lift your hips. Exhale, bring it back down. I'm going to turn to face the front of my mat again. We're going to plant our feet hip distance apart. Maybe scoot your hips a little closer. Roll your shoulders back to lift your chest. Bring your arms up to shoulder height. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lower down one vertebrae at a time. Go nice and slow. See how much control you can use in your abs. And then once you get to the bottom, take a big breath in and a big sigh. From here, scoot your hips close enough to your heels that your fingertips can brush the back of them, making sure that those heels are still hip distance apart. Plant your palms beside you. Flatten your lower back against the floor. Find an inhale, and with that exhale, press into your heels, lift your hips, squeezing your glutes, coming into your bridge pose, keeping your weight in the back of your shoulders, not the back of your head. Not looking around, just staring up at the ceiling or the sky. And with each exhale, we're digging into our heels, lifting our hips just a little higher. Let's take one more breath in here. And as you exhale, lower down one vertebrae at a time. Try to keep that length in your spine that you've created. Then bring your feet the width of your mat. Make some windshield wipers with your knees. And from there, we're going to straighten both of our legs and shake out any fidgeting, any movement that you might have left in you. Shake out your legs, shake out your arms, maybe rock your head side to side. Get nice and comfortable and find some stillness. Notice any differences in how your body feels now compared to when we started. Maybe when we started, your back was tight, and now it feels relaxed. Maybe the same goes for your hips or your shoulders. Maybe your mind feels a little clearer, a little more focused. Your breath a little steadier. Bring that awareness into your breath. As you inhale, notice the soft rise of your stomach. And as you exhale, feel the weight of your body pressing into your mat, keeping you present but relaxed. Give yourself this time to rest. If your mind starts to wander, just acknowledge that distraction, but press pause and give yourself a little bit longer. Be still, to rest, and just to breathe. This is where I will leave you guys. Our final Shavasana has the best benefits when we stay there for 3 to 5 minutes. So feel free to stay a little bit longer, as long as you like. Thank you again for joining me. I hope this was fun, maybe a little bit challenging, but I hope that you enjoy your relaxation time now. And join me next time back for Yogi Food. But until then, keep flowing.